Hey, say hey to Facebook.
Hi, Facebook, and welcome to Hearts and Heels. It's Thursday, June 30th. We're so glad you're here, and from all of us to you, happy 4th of July.
Wow.
We're happy you're here, guys. Thank you for joining us. Hi, see you out there in Facebook land. We'll be starting in 30 seconds. Call somebody, tell them Hearts and Heels is on. You know how you used to do back in the 80s when Cosby Show was on? Tell them it's Thursday night.
We did that. What can we do?
No, I never did that back in the day. We've got a great show lined up for you guys today, guys. Good evening and welcome to Hearts and Heels. We have an awesome show lined up for you guys this week. As always, I'm one of your hosts, Mia.
And I'm Arnisha. Welcome back. Glad that you're joining us again this evening. If you want to chime in on the conversation tonight, which I think that you will find pretty interesting, you can give us a call at 334-269-6785 or 800-631-2893. And don't forget to chime in on Facebook at Shay Melton Robinson.
Yes.
And watch us on Facebook Live. I don't know what these ladies are
She
here
was
doing
being
tonight.
Janet Jackson. She was being Janet Jackson.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you can get it 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And this is Shay. How are you today? We're excited to be here on this Thursday night. It's been a long week.
Yes.
And an exciting week, and we're gonna have a 3-day weekend for those of you out there in working land. Monday is a holiday.
Yeah.
Happy 4th of July.
So excited.
It's the 4th.
Happy Independence Day, everybody.
Yes, you know what? I'm so excited about the fireworks. I want to see some fireworks this year. I remember when I was young, we used to go outside. I was in the country.
Oh, where there was no law against it.
Right.
Okay.
Oh, that's right, because we're not going to pop any fireworks.
At home. No, you're going to go to the Biscuit Stadium. The Biscuit Stadium has the Riverwalk Stadium will have fireworks. And check out your city calendars for the Montgomery area, and you can find out where the fireworks will be, because you cannot go in your backyard or out in the street and do fireworks. Don't do that.
Remember, the fireworks are always downtown if you don't know where else to go.
Yeah.
They'll be after the game Monday night.
So don't pop them at the house. But it is so fun to do it. So if you know some place to go outside of the city limits. No. Go outside the city limits and find you a great place to pop some fireworks. Because I really want to teach my kids. Like, my kids, they've never done it.
Oh, wow.
Because
ever since they've been born, it's been against the law.
Right. So I really want to teach them. My oldest son was like, "Mom, I was with some kids and they popped some fireworks." I was like, "How do you do that?" I said, "Oh my gosh, you've been so sheltered, everyone. You've been so sheltered. So make sure,
be safe, you guys.
Yes, be safe. No shooting, no killing. Everybody have a safe, fun holiday. Okay."
All right. Be safe. 4th of July. We have great topics for you guys this week, as always.
Yes, and we're going to start off, guys. One of these stories. It is really amazing, because it's going to come. You're going to hear the story by Akon. He did an interview today, which is going to lead us into our hot topic for the day. Are you ready?
Okay, this story comes out of Essence, actually. And Akon was on a show called Hollywood Today, and he was being interviewed, and he said, the story, let me tell you what the story headline is.
Yes,
the story headline is, this is quoting him, "If women took the time to understand men, you would literally run the world." So, he also said that men are natural breeders, And then he said, just think of life. Why is it that every woman in the world is going through the same exact problem with a man? Think about it. It's not a science. It's not a coincidence. It's who we are. And he also said, I always believe.
Hold on. Before we go.
It was eating you up. I saw you wanted to interject from the title.
Hold on, wait a minute. Let me see. He said, the only reason why men are more dominant is because we know more about women than women know about men.
He is sick. That's number one. Let's just first clarify that. That's the meism of the day, that he is sick. Because, go ahead, Shay.
No, go ahead.
We're got to queue up that video, and so that we can play it for you when we come back, so that we can play it like that clip that he said. That just think of it: women and men like lions. The female lion stays in the den and takes care of the children, and he goes out and he breeds with other lions, and then he comes back, and she doesn't say anything about it because she knows her role.
About all that breeding.
First and foremost, he does not. Because if you study the lion species, he is afraid of the female.
Yeah.
Because she is the main one that is responsible for the hunt and kill in the pride. That is why they call them a pride, because they stick together.
Okay, let's just start off with this. I'm not a lion, so let's just start there.
I don't self-clean. That's number one.
Right. And then the natural breeder. So is he saying that men they have to have like 15 women?
That's what it sounds like to me.
And it should be okay, because if women understood that, we could rule the world. How can you rule the world feeding someone else's children? Because that's what's going to happen if you allow him to go out and breed. He's going to bring them children home.
Yeah, because sometimes I watch this show, and it's really the man. He has about 4 wives. I cannot think of the name of the show, but all of them got all the children. Something like that. It's one of them that's talking about the sister wife. It's too many children, and they all stay in this one little cul-de-sac. I'm just saying, as a woman, like, how can I can't be next to Mia thinking that Mia is.
Yeah, I get it. I get it. But this is the thing.
You can't share
this is not a man. That's number one. What you're talking about is not a man. Let's think about. Okay, women. Everybody think about back in the day, whether it be college or early adulthood. You dated those type of men. Okay, you did. Where if you asked him where he was or what he was doing, he started an argument, and it would just shift the conversation.
Yeah,
or you called your girlfriend and asked her for her car because he couldn't recognize it, because you're gonna go sit up all night so you can see what you see, so that when he denies where he was, that you don't. I'm living through it in the past now. But when you get delivered,
yes.
and you realize that a good man is one who never even makes you think. I gave my husband such a hard time. God bless you, and I love you, husband. I remember, like, the second time we went on a date, I said, let me explain something to you. I'm not crazy, but if I think it, you did it. So your responsibility to me is not to make me think it. And he kind of looked at me like
you crazy.
I'm crazy. Because I had so much baggage. I really was a bag lady. I had to let the baggage go.
Yeah.
But when you get a good man,
right, that
never even comes up. Because he's giving so much to you, and you're giving so much to him, and y'all trying to beat each other in giving, that even thought doesn't even come up.
I just think it's a cop-out. I think it's a cop-out for every man out there to not refrain from doing things out there. What gets me, refrain from the temptations, what really gets me, though, is men act like that women can't do it. They act like women can't have 15 men. I mean, I don't want but one.
I don't want but one. It's hard
to handle. It's hard to handle. But, so I think it's just a pure cop-out on the male behalf. You need to stop and just really be with your woman. I mean, if that's the woman that you say you love, you want to be with, to have that relationship with them. Don't spread yourself so thin, because you got to keep a woman happy. How you going to keep one woman happy and you're trying to split yourself up between 2, 3, 4, and 5? That's why they all unhappy.
And please believe we can make you think that we're so happy and you are not playing the part.
But if any man is in a relationship that has more than one woman, if you look around,
somebody is unhappy.
All of them unhappy, because at some point you're not spending time with them. You're not spending money, because you can't spend money to everybody unless you're like a billionaire. And even at that point, you can't spend time with everybody because you can't split yourself up. You're missing events. You're having to really juggle a schedule. So somebody is unhappy.
So that begs the question, why is it so accepted you know, amongst that for him to say something like that men are natural breeders. Hold on, I'm not gonna.
I feel like what could be harder?
We raising up our hands and hearing.
I think that, and I think I had this conversation with my husband before, just when we were just talking about stuff like this. But I think that, you know, even growing up as young men, okay, a lot of times, and we as mothers and women, you know, not necessarily us, but just women in general, even from back in the day, they, you know, don't be settling down with one woman or one girl in high school or in junior, you know, if they start dating in junior high or high school, and you don't think about what you're telling them. Don't, you know, you don't need to just date, you need to date, you know, more than one girl, you know, you don't just,
but we don't tell our girls
because you're so young, you're too young to just date one person. So people do that. Fathers and mothers also do that from kids being young.
So you're saying we're perpetuating that behavior?
Yes.
And I'm just going to come from a godly perspective right quick. I feel like most men do not know how to deny their flesh. As Christians, instead of being just Christians, God seekers, God followers, God Jesus chasers, we've gotten to this denomination of Methodists. I grew up African American Episcopal or Baptist, you know, and you're in those doctrines, and you don't have corporate fasts. You don't read in the Bible where you should deny your flesh. So when you deny your flesh and you deny yourself, you open yourself up to the Holy Spirit and how He wants to rest, rule, and abide within you. So to say that men are natural breeders means that they cannot deny their flesh, which means, number one, they're missing the God component. Because any man that cannot deny deny his flesh is missing the God component. Because when you're in Jesus, you deny your flesh and give yourself over to who He is. These are my plans. Please make and mold them to your will. Let me be your will. So any man who uses the excuse that it's in my nature doesn't have a God nature. So he doesn't need to have a mate in the first place.
And then, you know what? Amen. And then, you know what? Flesh is hard. Flesh is really hard to really deny.
Yes.
And nobody is saying that it's easy, but I'm just saying that's what you have to, I mean, that's just part of the commitment. If you're married to someone, or if you're in love with someone, if you want that person to be the one, then you have to deny everything else. And it's it happens to men and women. And see, this is my problem. Men forget that women, just like you saw that I was pretty and fine, somebody else sees the same thing. Right. So we can do the same thing, but we deny flesh all the time as women as a whole. Now, some women out there, I'm just speaking for the ones who do. But, you know, women, we can deny our flesh, so why can't men? But let me go back to Arnisha. That is very true that parents say that. But one time I said it to my son, and I had to correct myself. I told him, I don't want you to be in a place right now where you're in a permanent relationship. Think about how would you want somebody to treat your mother or your sister. And at that point is where I told him, you know, no cheating, don't have 15 girlfriends. Now, that don't mean he didn't do that in the past. You know, I had to string him up a couple times, but I try to get him to be respectful.
Okay, and we are going to go to break right now. We're going to continue this conversation because I have a little bit more to say about that. But I think it's a good conversation to have, and it's something that's very thought-worthy.
And join in.
Yeah, join in the conversation. I think we do have some comments, so we'll read those too when we get back. You are listening to Hearts and Hills. We'll be right back.
It's something you said to me before that kind of helps me when we were all doing like a corporate fast. Shay said to me one time when I called her and I said, I'm really desiring this Snicker bar and I'm going to eat it. And she said, no, don't eat it, because when you get in those moments, tell God, no, I need you to help me, God, because I desire you more. So that's what we've got to do when we get to those things. Yeah, you did. It was profound. And I do that now to this day, that God, I desire you more. I desire you more than I desire this other man. I desire you more than I desire this other woman. Yeah, simply because, and that's not to say that we don't get into things, but the blessing and the grace comes when you allow, you give yourself over to God and allow Him to do a work even in your mess.
Right.
So we have got to get into the posture of allowing ourselves to fast and die to our flesh daily.
That's what the word says.
That's right.
So when
you get into the posture of denying your flesh dying daily, then you can start letting go of those extra snacks that aren't good for your body, because our body is a temple that God has given us.
Right.
Keeping yourself holy for your partner. God will give you the best sex life in the world. When you say, God, I need you to allow my heart and my mind and my eyes to desire only after what you have created me for, and he will do it. You'll turn that house upside down.
Yes. Okay, let's see.
Thank you guys for tuning in. Tell us what your thoughts are. Share your thoughts about what Akon be saying, that men are natural breeders.
Right.
I don't, and
Just sound off in the comments.
Please sound off,
because
we
call in if you
Britt is my home girl from back in the day.
Oh, okay.
Ladies, grab your men, tell them to listen in, share the post, like the post, let everybody know that we're out here discussing a real issue.
That's right. We got a real issue. Because Britt, I used to, this is how you know you have no life and you're not doing nothing. Britt used to have a job when we were teenagers that go for fun part. I used to ride with her to work. Go ahead and just sit all day with Britt at work. And go for fun part back in the day.
But I'm excited we're having this conversation because you know what? I really think that we're in a culture where men feel like it's okay to just be, to have 15 different women.
Yeah.
To be natural breeders.
To be natural breeders. And I wish, and you know what? And I said this before we started the show. If you want to stop a man from being a natural breeder, put him on child support. Because if he has 15 children, everybody's going to have 5 for 5 every month. That's going to stop him from being a natural breeder because he can't ball out.
And welcome back to Hearts and Heels. We're having a great conversation online. Make sure you check us out on Facebook at Shay Melton Robinson. We're live. You can see us in the studio as we're discussing this, and we have some great conversations in between breaks, and we really need your comment. We did have a comment from Patrice Jackson from Facebook. She said, my son was that same advice from a woman's perspective. Treat a young lady as you expect someone to treat your mom and sister, which is
that's a great point, Patrice. Yeah. Treat someone like you would want them to treat your mom or your sister. Because my son even gets angry now when people treat his 8-year-old sister indifferent. So and that's what I love about it. We talk about men who come from, we don't want people to have broken homes and things of that nature. But I can honestly attest, and when we had the men on the show, a lot of them spoke to this point. I think both of our Erics spoke to that point, that it can either drive you all the way to one end or the other end, and not having that father figure made sure that my husband is always there for his children and for us. He desired the family that he didn't necessarily have growing up. So we have got to, although we are not promoting broken homes, we're saying that you have got to represent that family in front of your children that you want them to have. Daddy chasing mama around the house, or mama chasing daddy around the house. And my kids to this day, if we go to the store and I get something free, they come tell it because they want daddy to know.
Let me tell you, I gotta tell you this story. One time we were at this concert, and I'm a big fan of Cameo, FYI. And we went to the concert, and the lead singer, I cannot think of his name right now, he was singing to me from the stage. I was right there in front, and he was
singing to you?
Yeah, he was pointing at it because I was in the very front, front row.
That's what Ronnie did to me when they had a concert.
Right, pointing at me. So we were in the front, and the kids, it was this park thing, and the kids were there. My son Jalen, he said, I'm gonna tell Dad when we get home. I said, tell him what, that man was flirting with you. And when we got home, he sure did. Told his dad, because he said, I'm gonna protect you, Mom. But in that, we do need to share. Men, we have to continue to tell our boys that they cannot mistreat women. And to me, it's disappointing that a national artist, Akon, can get on the air and say, hey, it's natural for men to have 15 different women. That is how we got AIDS. That's how we got syphilis, gonorrhea, crabs.
All of the above.
All of the itching. But this is the thing. We have to think about it, too. We have to understand that he is an entertainer. And sometimes these are just publicity. Say it, Anisha. It's publicity. Them kind of stunts. Yeah. Now, the reason it's those kind of stunts is because when was the last time Akon put out a song? Girl. Really, he's not relevant. Okay, and so he wants to become relevant. Okay, tell me a song.
People know him. People do know him.
They know him, but he's not relevant right now.
That's because he's over there working across the seas
breeding.
So a lot of times when people aren't relevant, they say something that's controversial.
Kim Kardashian. Every time she is not relevant, she has some other enormous tweet that makes people talk about how insane. That's what they say, how insane she is. But it's really keeping her relevant in the forefront of news.
Right. But I think a lot of men do think like that.
I do too.
I think a lot of
boys think like that. I think men understand the importance of creating a good home, a godly home, and are seeking that which they desire to fill them, which is a good woman.
I don't know. I think it's men and boys, because I think men sometimes cannot deny their flesh. I think they really have a hard time.
I wouldn't even say just men.
I was just going to say,
period.
I was just going to say, it's hard. I can understand, because I was just reading today. It was a comment today, and somebody was talking about, I guess some stars are splitting up. Oh, I know it. Iggy Azalea, I don't know who she is. Okay, but anyway, I was reading. It was apparently she dated a Lakers basketball dude, and she found a video. She broke up with him. They were engaged. She broke up with him because she saw a video of him bringing women in and out the house. So now,
who videoed it?
I guess it's security on their house that he knows about, and he's bringing women in. So, but my question is, what was the thought of the women who was going in and out of her house?
This is a Laker, and I don't care.
Yeah, they didn't care.
So
you're saying women also feel the same way?
What I'm saying is that women, we have to step up and take away ourselves from being in those positions. If you know that somebody is in a relationship, they're married or whatever, then you stop. Don't invade that space.
I'm going to have to go, not on the defense, but I'm going to have to say this is the reason why. And I know y'all are going to get all over me for this, but this is the reason why women get beat in the street and you see hair laying in the street, because you know better. You know my man is taken, and you don't care. So if you don't care, the consequence is your hair in the street.
Okay. I got something for that.
Lord, forgive me.
Okay, so that's a very good example. When I'm gonna use women.
I'm gonna call it
when the woman goes after the woman. But knowing that it takes two, okay?
Oh, he gonna get his just in a different way.
But you know what? A lot of times they don't.
You look like Eric when you said that.
I did.
Yeah.
But a lot of times they don't. They go straight for the woman, or the man goes straight for the man, however you want to say it. But then the next day you see her.
Because I think it's disheartening. As a woman, it would be really hard for me to look at another woman and you know that I'm with someone.
Yeah, exactly.
And me being a minister, a pastor's wife, I have been in the presence of so many women that I've wanted to slap or hurt or
and that's when you need to be your armor bearer.
I know. But I've been in the help her. I've been in the presence of so many women that are disrespectful to me.
Yeah.
So whether my husband take it a step further or not, the fact that they were disrespectful and you know that this is a relationship. Yeah. See, that's where I hit.
See, most women can't deny a man in a uniform, but it's something about a pastor. It's like the demonic spirit come out and just snatch a woman's personality. What is it? Because, Lord forgive me, but I don't want no man who's going to preach me from doing wrong sometimes. I don't want that. It's like when I try to do right, evil is always present. I don't, sometimes when I want to do wrong, I don't.
It's something about that drawing. I have no idea. I've been in a church, and of course, my husband pastored, and I've had to deal with women.
See, God made you just for that, though.
Okay, so that gets into our topic for the evening.
She wants to take us away from it. She
see me again in her flesh.
It's still a part of it. It's part of it. So our topic is, we're talking about, what we were just talking about. We're talking about, men and being natural breeders, what Akon said. What are your thoughts on that? Okay, getting into the relationship part of it, keeping each other happy. What does it take truly? Not what we think it takes. What does it take truly to keep that other person happy?
Wow.
So being women, We're gonna speak from the women's side.
Can we be real?
Yeah, let's be real.
Yeah. What does it take for a woman to keep her husband or her man happy?
In my relationship, and you cannot, and it's true when they say that someone has to come into the relationship already happy and fulfilled, and you just add to that, and it just brings even more joy. But in my relationship, and this is just a Mia-ism, I pray and desire and seek after his innermost desire. I want to find out through God's wisdom of what his desire, things that he hasn't even thought of, and I want to fulfill that need and that desire in him, because I am his woman, and I want to be everything to him because God made me for him, and I am, and just like I'm fit for God's use, I am fit for the king of my home. And I want to be everything that's desired. And I got a trick for y'all. This is great for married people only. So if you're not married, turn the radio down.
Those are legal people.
That's right, legal people only. I encourage you, once a month, sit in the middle of the bed. I think I've said this before, and blindfold your mates. And with them being blindfolded, all inhibitions are away because they're not embarrassed, they're not looking at you. And you ask them, tell me a desire that you've never even formed to your lips. And we each have 2 weeks. I have 2 weeks, or he has 2 weeks of whatever it is that we have even desired to make it happen. And you surprise them within that month, and then the next month you start all over again. Give me another desire, because I'm fit for your use.
So you guys do this every month?
I've never done it.
But y'all don't know,
it's about to go down.
I was going to ask you how it's going.
Listen. That is really Mia. I thought she really was doing this, guys.
I can make it sound real good, but it's going to be, I'm going to report back.
Listen, so I think, I can speak from a different perspective. I think that the basis of any great relationship is God. Mm-hmm. I think that's just the basis, because you know what, I was with my husband prior to him being saved, and I'm with him now as he is saved, and there was a different type of love that took place. I knew he loved me before, but this kind of love is totally different. And until a man loves God for real, from the core of him, he can never truly love you, because only God shows him how to really love you.
That part of him up.
It was a
Makes
different,
him vulnerable to it.
It's a different type of man. I loved him before, but when God really touched him, I was like, yes, this is what I've been waiting for. The egg is over.
Even when you praise, it's like, oh Lord, thank you for him.
I could just see him come through the door, be like, oh, that's my man right there. But okay, I'm back. Okay, I won't see him for a while. But I think that's the really basis of a good relationship. So with that being said, first, ladies, you got to make sure that your man is a godly man. You got to make sure that he is really seeking after the love of God, because until he seeks that love, he cannot love you, because the scriptures say that men are supposed to love their wives as Christ loved the church.
That's right.
Well, how is he going to know how to love you if he doesn't know how Christ loved us? Mm-hmm. So we got to remember that. Now we're going to continue this conversation,
and we're going to get back on what the topic is about.
We're telling the basis. That was the first part. Okay. And then we're going to talk about, sex and all these other things.
We're talking about how a woman can keep her, the role of a woman and keeping her man happy. All aspects. No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying we're going to come back on our side.
Tell us what we're supposed to say when we come back. Stay with us. You're listening to Hearts and Heels.
Yes.
Why are you laughing, Corey? That's what you were looking for?
That wasn't part of it. Okay, hold on. We got to get real instructions.
See, we're going over.
We're going to get to your comment, Brittany. We're going to say what your comment was.
To the man side of how they love. We're talking about what we need to do.
I gave the right answer. Shay did.
No. I was saying that godly love, and then if you know that he loves God, then that's when you start loving, because you don't need to start loving a man. Don't love him if he doesn't love God. Don't you love him?
You love God, man.
Let's just be honest. Every woman wants a man that has a little. People say thug, but I don't think it's thug. I think women love men who take control of a situation.
They want whatever the situation is. All in one. Yes. Obama and Tupac together.
I saw President Obama, y'all walking on the news. They had him walking. President Obama got a serious walk. He got a serious walk.
He's sexy. I'm sorry.
So Mia wants a little Obama and a little Tupac
and
all
Obama
together.
I want the side of a man who wears his pants on his tips, but can get right if the situation get wrong.
Somebody who
I got it though. I got it.
Step in any given situation, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Not to say that, that's what it requires, or that's what, I need all the time. I need
but can offer God's grace.
I need to be able to do that too.
Yeah.
But as the man of the house, he has to. We look to our husbands.
That's right.
We look to our husbands for
that's what we're supposed
for
to
love.
Yeah.
We look to our husbands for spiritual leadership.
Yeah, because I quit a job.
Provision, for protection. We look to our husbands. That's
what
we're supposed to be able to do that.
Yeah.
And when we can't do that,
so it's
hard for us to give of ourselves.
See, that's why I started the conversation with you gotta love God first. Now
I love God. Okay. Is that our song for today?
No. we just going with it. I mean, this is a great conversation. Join in.
We gotta get. Britt had a comment. Somebody else had a comment.
She said,
y'all are what?
No, the one before that.
Oh, thank you so much, Britt. We try to be fun. Make sure you like and share, guys.
Britt said, learning his love language is important. You may think you are showing him love, but until you know his love language, he may not feel your love for him.
Oh, that was my note, Britt.
And that is true. It says, she also said, as long as both the husband and wife are focused on God, everything else will fall into place.
See?
He will give you both the desire and encouragement you need from one another if you base your marriage on him and his plan for you.
Okay,
I'll read it again.
Look, so we come in.
I'm going to read this again.
Okay, go ahead. Because we're coming back. Hearts and Heels, and welcome back to Hearts and Heels. We have a few Facebook
That was a
comments.
solo from Shay Milton Robinson.
And we have a few comments from Facebook we want to share with you.
Okay, Britt said, as long as both the husband and wife are focused on God, everything else will fall into place. He will give you both the desire and encouragement you need for one another if you base your marriage on him and his plan for you. And she also said, learning his love language, your husband or your man, is important. You may think you are showing him love, but until you know his love language, he may not feel your love for him.
Yeah, we did a show on love languages before, on the 5 different love languages, and we'll go back to that again in the future because everybody needs to know. Because I think mine is, I have 2. I have 2 words of aspiration. Is it aspiration? Affirmation. Aspiration. Words of affirmation, and I think I'm going to switch and pick one. Yes.
Listen, so we're talking about how does a woman, wife, make a man happy, or make him feel loved, or keep him from being out in the streets and coming home. You can run the show.
Go ahead.
I think what Britt said and what we talked about before is a good place to, of course, God first. But as far as the love language, that's really important, I think.
I think love, period. And I think it goes further than just saying, I love you. And I know the Bible says that we respect our husbands, and we do. Let me tell you, it's one thing when a man is disrespected, he cannot stand.
Oh, my God. He can't stand.
He cannot stand being disrespected. And that means, that comes in a lot of forms, because a lot of women, they disrespect their husbands and don't know it. Like, for example, when you call him out in front of his friends.
Don't do that. Don't.
Wrong answer.
Don't do, just like you don't want him to do it in front of anybody.
Do it to him.
We have to affirm, and I had to change my group of friends. That's honest. That's a godly truth. I had to change my group of friends because we would go to dinner, we would go out, and the whole time they would be talking about their husband this and he did that in a negative way. And I found myself saying, "Girl, I know what you're talking about. I didn't. I actually went home and told my husband I'm sorry, and I'm going to stop going out with them, because all they do is talk about their husbands, and you don't do any of that. It just made me love him more, but I had to apologize to him, and I had to change who I was hanging out with, because my job is to affirm him, even at his worst. I am to tell him what God says about me. you know, how God sees me.
And the thing is, you have to. It's a reverence. I mean, it's just you. It's just you respecting who he is in your life. If like we said during the break, if he's your protector, if he is your lover, if he's all those things, you're just saying, hey, I love and support you. And it's one thing, God revealed this to me a long time ago, and I was just praying about, you know, husband and wives. And it's one thing, black men. If you're married to a black man, they have to deal with so much out in the world, and so many people disrespect them. So as women, if you're married to a black man, you have to, when they walk into that door, remind that he's a king, that he is the best thing in your life, and that, you know, you are one and you complete. So we have to continue to build him up and lift him up. Although, and sometimes they act like they don't need it.
Yeah, of course.
They do.
But you know what?
They don't need it a lot, but they really do.
They
need
do.
it.
They need it. And a lot of times when you do that for your husband, he may look off or make a face, but he appreciates it.
Yeah.
Even in his sleep, I am constantly laying my hands on him and thanking God for who he is and building him up and edifying him in the spirit realm. Because
I was just about to say the second. Well, that's really the first thing. The first thing you should always do, women, is pray for your husband.
Yes.
Cover him. He is your king. Cover him, because the enemy is big and attacking marriages, attacking men, and those two things, they need your help. If we're not covering them, who would cover them?
Yeah.
We are joined together. The two shall become one. If we're not covering our other half, who is covering them? So women, you got to learn how to pray for your husband. And you're right. I remember when my husband was sick, I would be up at night just praying. I mean, it was really a health scare. I'm up at night praying, walking up and down beside him, praying, and God crying over him. Sometimes he didn't know. Didn't know. So women pray.
And I was going to say that too, as far as them not knowing, what you do in your secret place, you know, you pray over your children,
your family,
you pray over your husband, you pray over your parents, you know, and most of the time people don't know that. And you, even if that man is not doing everything you think he should be doing, okay, because that's a big part of it. That's a big part of why women sometimes we retreat. I ain't worried about that, or I'm not. You get to the point where you don't even want to pray for him. You can't do that. No matter where you are his covering, because that's just how it works. God hears your prayer in covering your husband, whatever that is. He hears that no matter where you are, mentally, emotionally in your marriage. And the harder it gets for you to pray for him, the more you need to pray for him.
That's what I was just going to say. Yes. We're not saying that it's always rosy and great in your marriage and that you pray in the good times. That's the hardest time, when he has made you so mad that you can throw a skillet across the room. Yes. But that happens in marriage. There's storming because you have to get to that place in your marriage. So there are going to be disagreements because you love this person, you're living with them. There are going to be times that you disagree, but in that time you still have to cover him, and nobody has to can love him more. I say all the time, Lord, if anything ever happens to my man, I don't know who's going to come next, because he has done it so well that nobody can do it better. You know what I'm saying? And so I thank God for that. So even in those tough times is when you need to pray over them the most.
Yeah.
The most.
Go ahead. Go. I was going to say, if you are in a marriage or in a relationship where you may not, a thing to me that helped me in my marriage is starting to pray together. And if you just have, if you have that husband or that mate that it's just not that person, to pray out loud or to pray in public or whatever, grab his hand and start praying. Yes. Just do it. Baby, we finna kneel down. We gonna pray. He's not gonna tell you no.
And it's gonna open him up to it.
And you know what? And that's where if you really want to hear the heart of your man, listen to and pray.
Yes.
Listen to and pray, because it's amazing. Sometimes my husband will pray for something. I'm like, you thought about that? Or you think about that? Because a lot of times they are closed in, because men by nature don't talk. And then the world tells them that you're not supposed to talk. You're not supposed to cry. You're supposed to be this big, strong.
A lot of them, they grow up like that.
Yes,
be honest.
this intimate moment of
They're
prayer.
turn on.
Oh my gosh, the intimate moment of prayer. Then that's when you
Is it
really
just
learn.
me?
No, I mean it is sexy to know.
Me and my husband seek after God and desire that God has for our family.
Yeah.
That I'm like, you ready?
So, which brings me to the next point. Ladies,
like
you need to have sex.
Yeah. And pray about it. We are all tired. We're emotional. We're pulled in so many different directions. But I pray, God, when even at the first nudging of His desire, please ignite my fire. You know, and to the point where if I even think it, I jump up and act. You make it till you make it, like I'm ready. You know what I'm saying? And in that moment, I do become ready, because I don't ever want him to think that I've turned myself away from him,
and that you don't want him.
Yeah.
Because men, that's how men respond physically.
That's their love language. They have 6, we have 5.
Period. They connect through that contact, through that intimacy. You know, that's the nature of a man. That's how they connect with who they love.
And be present in the moment.
Be present in the moment.
I was just about to say, be present in the sex. Don't just be like, Celia, be like, I just let him get on top of me. Let's not do that. You have to be in the moment. And then, you know what?
Ask God to help you in that.
And He will. He will. I mean, there has been times, and this is just being real.
Yeah.
Like me said before, we are tired.
Yes.
You know, everybody is tired, men and women. We all work.
Yes.
We all deal with children.
But
we
they
all,
feel ready.
You know, we all have extra stuff outside of work and all this stuff to do. So we're tired. 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock at night. You're tired. You're ready to go to sleep.
Our sound guy is laughing at us. Corey is just cracking up.
Listen, sex is the last thing on your mind after you've been at work 8 hours a day.
I think men have an extra gene. It's a chromosome in their body that just say on ready all the time.
If you have to, you know, when you're tired, you have to put what you're feeling aside, putting those negative thoughts aside. I'm tired. Please don't let him touch me. I just want to go to sleep. Whatever it is, you really have to. And I'm not saying it's gonna work. I'm not saying it's gonna work every time, but try it.
Here's the truth moment.
And
I get in the shower and I talk to Jesus.
Lord,
you know when I get out the shower, I'm not gonna be able to go to sleep, and I need you to help me, Jesus.
And it'll happen. I have
He will
prayed
do
that.
it. He will do it every time.
Your thoughts change. Your
Yeah,
feelings
instead of putting on
change.
lotion,
You
you
get
put
out
on
of
oil.
that.
Yeah, he will do it.
So you be slipping and sliding
all around. You can't catch me.
You know, but what we're saying is sex is really important. Women, do not deny your husband, even when you're mad. I know that sounds crazy.
I don't know about right now.
Listen.
But you gotta talk that part. But sometimes when you say I'm sorry in the middle, you know,
you still need to have sex, because you know we use. You know,
as a punishment.
Truth moment, we use sex as punishment, and we try to use sex to manipulate whatever situation we're in. Because I've done it. I've said, "Hey, baby."
So because you've done it,
I've done it. Everybody's done it. But we need to stop, women. I mean, that's just a natural. We cannot hold our bodies from our husbands, because that's what they desire. If our prayer is that our husband desire us, when they desire us, then we should want to be desired. We should lay in that moment and give over. And
let's be honest, if we have a man, and this is true for every woman, if you have a man who will accept you for your roadmaps, your stretch marks, your indentations, your curves, your and he is still like, and you should be like, yes. If you want it in the lot with the lights on, go ahead.
Right. Yeah, that's amazing to me. Like some men, sometimes
I
be like,
say it.
all of it. Yes. Oh my gosh.
Okay.
We're back to our videos.
Women, do not refrain your body.
Just ask God to help you be who He needs you to be in whatever moment or whatever situation. Because people who have been married for 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, those roles in your sexual relationship change. So your desires change, his desires change. Ask God to give you such because He said that the bedroom is undefiled. God, give me and him a desire and the ability to talk to one another, to tell our desires, to show each other what we need, to be in those intimate moments that no one else can come into that intimate place between us. Because even though the enemy may come in and seek to destroy what is yours, God will honor that prayer not to let anyone in that secret intimate place. So that if he does stray, if she does stray, that other person will never meet that intimate need that mate has met for you.
And it is about not giving the devil a foothold.
That's right.
You don't want to give Satan a foothold in your marriage. And this is the thing, intimacy. And I know sometimes as women we feel like men are not meeting our needs. Tell them.
Or show him.
Show him, tell him, because the one thing women we have a problem with, we think men or people read our minds and they're supposed to know exactly what we feel, what we want. No, you should be able to have these conversations, these really pure conversations with your husband, because they're really important and they want to know, they want to fulfill every
I was just going to say that, and let's get honest, the extent of their experience has been with whoever else.
Right.
So what whoever else like, let's just be honest, may not be what you like. Like my ex-boyfriend didn't like perfume. And so I would never wear perfume out in public and things like that. Did I think I was going left? Okay. He didn't like perfume, so I got into it where I never wore perfume. And my husband asked me one day, "Why do you not wear perfume?" Let me get the Bath and Body Works. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because I had gone without it for so long that I never really thought about it.
Didn't think about it. And one prayer one prayer that I've always prayed, that I think is just, to me, it's just a wonderful prayer, to ask God to allow you to see your husband as he does and allow your husband to see you as he does.
That's good. I'm still there.
Yes.
I mean, that's really important.
Because I feel like he see the Kool-Aid man.
So listen, on that note, we're going to take a break because we can't really say anything after. That was such wisdom.
That was profound.
I know. God used her in that moment.
Speak.
Yes. Now, remember, you can check us out on Facebook Live at Shay Melton Robinson. Also, call in if you have comments and questions. You're listening to Hearts and Heels.
That was great, because I really think, I'd be like, why are you smiling? I look like the Kool-Aid man.
They don't care.
They don't care.
They don't. It's like, when they really love you like that, and
They
I'm
love
talking,
you.
when they love you, they love you. They don't, you know, women, sometimes we go to bed, wake up looking however we wake up and go to
Let
bed
me brush
looking.
my teeth.
Right. But they don't care.
Turn your head to the side.
that lets you know,
That it's
that
love.
this man really loves me.
And
like,
you know
no matter what I look like, whatever, he loves, So
and
that's
good.
If
you're
embrace
in
that.
a relationship where you feel like you gotta look a certain way all the time, he'll love you for real.
I was at work moving boxes, and I was like, who can do this in heels all the time? So that's what I was thinking the other day. So they have got to love you, because we do so much and try to look so good all the time. You cannot be that all the time.
You can't. That's just not realistic.
I mean, I look like this all the time. I'm gorgeous.
Say I wake up like this, but no, really, we can't. And men too. They get in their moments where they look in a mess, but. Yeah. We love them.
And I sit there for 15 minutes trying to put on concealer. In fact, I put on so much concealer one time. My daughter walked in the bathroom and said, "Oh, I want to dress like an Indian." I said, because I had concealer here. I showed you that picture. I had concealer here, down here. And she just walked in so candid. I want to look like an Indian.
So innocent.
I'm trying to look natural is what I'm trying to look.
Oh, man.
But, yeah, we just have to get to that intimate place and that natural place where it feels natural. That was a good word. Where it feels natural with your mate. Everything feels so natural.
What? Sex is natural, and a lot of people, a lot of Christians, a lot of spiritual people don't like
want
to
talk about it.
But it is.
How did you get here? You are not Jesus.
It is a part of life. That's
Be fruitful and multiply.
But that's what That's why God created Eve. That's why he created Eve, because he said it's not good for man to be alone.
Y'all want to hear a joke about that? Here's the joke. So God went to Adam in the garden and said, I'm going to give you a woman who will never talk back, who will do whatever you say. Whenever wherever you're ready, she'll be ready. He said, great, God. What is that going to cost me? He said, just an arm and a leg. And Adam said, what can I get for a rib? And the rest is history. That's your joke of the day.
So crazy.
Oh, no.
All right then.
Yes.
That was a good joke.
Yeah, and
y'all know that was good.
Yeah.
Wonderful joke.
Yeah, that was wonderful.
That was fun.
Go ahead and read your list of Proverbs 31.
I'm not. I just had, just in case I need to talk about how she a Ruby and all that good stuff.
Me too.
Let me see.
We're coming back. We're in the last segment of Hearts and Hills. We thank you guys for joining us. Please comment. I think you guys are listening and laughing and not commenting.
Yes. Like the video, share.
Please do. Share us on your social media page, because
Please do.
we are so
Please
excited
share.
that you guys joined us. And we
Somebody just
want,
liked it. Thanks for the like.
Thank you.
Yes.
We want you guys to share us on your social media pages.
Please share. That's how these conversations will get further out there on social media. So please share on your pages. Thank you. What happened?
Look at this. You guys are not-
Hearts and Heels. And welcome back to Hearts and Heels. Before we even finish this conversation, there's a very important element that we must say that women need to do, and that is submit to your husband.
Yes, and I know a lot of
It's
people
easy.
don't like to hear that, and it doesn't mean what a lot of people think.
Yeah,
it
so
means.
that doesn't mean that you sit
Yeah.
there and he tells you what to do and you go, you know, he say
With your
bark like
head down,
he say bark
yeah.
like a dog and you bark. That's not what
Come to
submission
Coming
is.
to America. What submit means is that as he submits to the Godship of his home, even though you think we should go right, but he says, you know, I've prayed about this and God said we should go left, then you abandon your thought and you follow him left. Because in your obedience, God will bless it.
Well, it's just like your job. When you go to your job, they make decisions that you don't necessarily like.
But
You
you
don't
want
quit
your
your
check.
job, do you? You stay there. So, you know, men make some decisions. And you know what I found, even when my husband doesn't listen to me, because I'm always right, when he doesn't listen to me, then I pray. I ask God, give him the wisdom he needs to make this decision. And whatever decision he makes, if it's good or bad, Lord, protect us. Keep us. And if it's a bad decision, don't let it be bad for us. If it's a good decision, bless it.
Like David said, Lord bless my mess. But this is the thing. In that submission and obedience, he did say that. He didn't say it bless my mess, but that's what he meant. You know, when he was looking at the woman on the roof. Okay. All right. Okay, that was my translation. Okay. What I'm saying, I forgot what I was saying. What was I saying? Oh, even in your submission to your husband and God blessing that, your husband sees that, he feels that, and it makes him want to be better.
Yeah.
Because this woman has fallen at my feet.
Right.
So follow me. I will follow my husband blindfolded because I know who he's chasing.
And see, you still have a voice. That doesn't mean that you don't express yourself. That just means when the decision is made, your husband is making a final. He's assessing and he's making a final decision. And I don't know about you, but it's really great for me to let my husband just be responsible for all the decisions that's made in our house.
It makes me fine.
Because you know what? That's something I don't have to worry about. Okay, you want to, all right, make all the decisions. Here's my advice. Whatever happens, you know, it's all on you. So as women, we have to understand that's strength to be able to allow someone to lead you. And again, we let everybody else in the world lead us, but we don't want to allow our husbands to
because of
lead
that
us.
word submit.
Yeah.
But let's just be honest. When he is being led by God, you cannot lose.
Not at
You
all.
cannot lose.
Again, go back to the point. You got to have a godly man.
That's right, because Romans 8:28 says that he makes all things work to our good.
And for those, you know, for those whose husbands may be struggling with not
Submitting to
necessarily
God.
right, submitting completely, you know, because I think for the most part, everybody prays, everybody wants to be better in God, everybody, seeks after God in their own way, but maybe just hasn't completely submitted themselves to God, women and men. So if you have that husband or that mate, pray for that. Pray that over him, that will happen for him. that God will allow him to see the things that he needs to see, the spiritual aspect.
And be consistent in that
consistent
prayer.
In your prayers.
Don't give up, because the enemy will make it worse try to make situations worse before getting. Here we go, Job. One thing after another kept happening. But in the end, it says he was blessed 7 times more. He had more, I don't want to say more beautiful kids, but his kids were blessed more than they were before. So you have to be steadfast. You have to be unmovable. You have to be praying. And again, just love your husband through it. I say it all the time. Love covers a multitude of sin. Love covers everything in your life that's wrong. So if you love him, I promise you that God will stick to his promises of making him one with you.
And when you submit, it makes it so when he submits to God and you submit to him, it makes it much easier to do it. Do what he says. I'm telling you, it does. It makes it easier to submit to his desire and your desire.
Right. And there are just, we have to talk about some little tidbits that you can do. 20 little things, and I'm not going to read all 20. 20 little things to make a big difference in your marriage. Greet him warmly. So, what does that mean? When he comes in the door,
take off running.
Or when you come in the door, just a warm smile, a nice peck on the cheek or on the lips.
Home.
Make sure, you guys, that you guys kiss. Make sure that you keep that going. When you leave in the morning, kiss each other.
That's right.
When you get home in the afternoon, kiss each other. Not a slob you down kiss. That's not what I'm talking about. Just a peck. Hey, how you doing?
And make sure his heart is comfortable and at peace at home. So he wants to run to his happy place.
Okay. Offer a kind word. Okay, I think we all know what that means.
You're working in pants.
Ooh, you look sick.
Give thanks. One thing that I make sure I do, if I see an extra effort there, that my husband is doing, whether it's, cook like the other night he cooked, I was so thankful. Thank you, Jesus. I got home and I had some dinner and I was so happy. But just say thank you.
Okay, you read it. I'm gonna give an explanation.
Speak the truth.
Oh yes, do never. Always tell the truth, man. Again, we said this earlier. Men cannot figure you out. You just have to be honest and tell the truth in every situation.
And if you need help with something, ask. If you need help, one thing is women, and I have to say this before I keep. One thing is women, we get resentful because we thinking, okay, I got to do all this myself. But take care of the kids, cook, clean, all this kind of stuff. Men just don't think that way. They don't think ahead like women do.
You want to do it, so I let you do it.
Right. You want to do it your way. So, and they're not. I don't think they're doing that in a negative way. That's their way of
trying to get out the
keeping
way.
You happy. They're getting out of your way. If you need help, ask them. They will help you.
And let me add to that. If it doesn't get done, it will be okay.
It will.
Yes, absolutely.
As long as everybody's fed and washed, we're good.
Yes. Shrug off small annoyances. So all the little things that you see that are negative, that annoy you.
When he puts his cup on top of the refrigerator instead of just putting it in the sink, like he's saving it.
Or when he's
put it in the refrigerator.
Or when he's cooking and you got stuff all over the place, or you use my face towel and I get mad because I got a pink towel and everybody else got blue, yellow, and something else pink. It's girl, I'm the only girl in the house. And when you need a toothpaste towel, I could go on and on and on.
Shrug off.
Number 8.
Serve cheerfully.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. When he comes in the house and you hear that key in the door and dinner is ready, go ahead and make his plate. So baby, wash up and put your plate in the microwave, or do you want me to heat it up now?
And just ask. If they don't want you to do it, that's fine. But relax.
And sometimes when they're watching TV, sit on the floor by their feet and just reach over.
Mm-hmm. And you know what? This is the thing. We like it when Chick-fil-A serve us with a smile.
When they say my pleasure.
Right. Go.
Yes. Okay. We talked about this. Pray for each other. Top one. That should be number 1, actually. So that is definitely number 1. Pray for each other. Listen carefully.
Yes.
To what your husband, your mate,
don't
is
listen
saying.
Defensively. Listen objectively.
Listen. Okay. Apologize humbly.
Yes, a good apology. A kind word drives away wrath.
Got it. Apologize. What I like to do is apologize, and when they just say okay, like it's dry, okay, you forgive me. You do.
And then snuggle up to them,
Yeah.
all that good stuff. Laugh at each other's jokes. Laughter is
Oh.
so important in a relationship.
And that goes back to telling the truth. If it's not funny, tell them it's not funny. But that's sometimes funny because they think it's funny. And that was not funny.
Yeah, because Eric
Yeah.
dry jokes.
Yeah. I'm talking about my little girl.
Give a soft answer.
Yes.
Step away together.
Yes.
Smile at
Wait,
him.
step
Yes.
away.
Step away
They
together.
don't stop. We're not gonna solve it right now.
Vacation. Go
You know,
away.
go.
It says step away.
Oh, I thought
Yeah,
step away from an argument.
Yeah, just like
No,
go
just take
downtown
time
to the
for
Renaissance.
yourself.
Oh,
Yeah, go
yeah.
time. Spend some time away from everybody else.
Smile at him.
Yes.
From across the
Smile,
room.
Yes.
Like when you in a choir stand at church.
No, we're supposed to be focusing on Jesus.
We are. Jesus gave me him, and I'm thankful for it.
Yes.
Forgive fully.
Yes. Do not hold on to the past. Mia said she was the bag lady earlier. Let it go.
Let it go.
If you've chosen to be there, let it go.
Let it die within you.
Yes.
Don't keep bringing up stuff, all
And
that
ask
good
God
stuff.
to let it die within you.
Yeah. Spend time together.
Mhm.
Build up.
Mhm.
So important for me.
Edify.
So important for a man to be built up. It really is.
I like how you wash the
This is my favorite
cement
one.
with that pressure washer. Yeah, I do. I love when you clean the window.
Oh, my husband had a garden and he just brought the green pepper. I said, baby, ooh, that green pepper looks so good. Yeah.
That's building
Right.
them up.
Right.
Decide you're going to love each other.
Let me say this. I love to say this. This is one of my things. You always have to remember that you choose each other daily.
Oh,
So make sure you
amen.
choose to love him daily. And this was Hearts and Heels. We want to thank our True Worship Fellowship family, Pastor Rod Robinson. Thank you so much for letting us be here. Check us out every Sunday at 11, Wednesdays at 7. And
Make plans tonight to love one another. Lawful
Yes.
people, make plans tonight to love one another. From all of us here at Hearts and Hills, we love you guys. We'll be back next week, same place, same time, same station, but definitely not the same way because it only gets better, right, girl?
yes.
That's right.
From all of us here at Hearts and Hills, we hope you're blessed from your heart to your heels.
Good night.
See you next week, everybody.
Good night.
Good night. Thank you
Thank
guys
for
so
joining us on
much.
Facebook. We really
Thank
appreciate your
you.
comments. It was a great show. Make sure you share the video and like the video. Tell everybody you know about Hearts and Heels. We can stream all over the world, and we're really excited about this opportunity God has given us, and we hope that you're enjoying
We don't take it lightly.
No, we don't take it lightly. We hope that you're enjoying it every week. And let us know what your thoughts are, what shows you want to hear us talk
Yes.
about. We
Yeah.
love it. We love it that God has called us to this place. So we thank you so much.
We want to give the godly perspective with some humor.
Yes.
With some humor. We love it. We have a caller who's called in after the show, so we're going to talk about them and get them on the show next week.
We'll have them on next week.
See you next week, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye.